Hello, and welcome to episode 175 of The Joy of Coding. My name is Mike Conley, gonna be hacking on some Firefoxy stuff today. It's gonna be a good day. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm apparently getting reports that my stream output is low, and I'm not sure if there's gonna be anything I can do about that. The repeater, I think, I'm sending out at about just over 4,000 kilobytes per second, but the stream output is apparently quite low. It's saying that it's only receiving just under half of that. So hopefully if you're watching this on YouTube, it's not too bad. And if it is too bad, then try the Twitch stream or perhaps Air Mozilla at air.mozilla.org. Okay. Oh, wait, you couldn't see my screen. Let me do that. Right, so what are we doing today? Today is April 24th, episode 175. And a reminder, no plan survives breakfast. I kind of know what I want to do. Hattie, I think, wants the air horn. Hattie wants the air horn, so here you go. No plan survives breakfast. Things might go horribly wrong. I might get stuck. I might get sidetracked. Things might slow down. That's okay. None of this is pre-planned or pre-scripted. I'm capturing software development in the raw, and sometimes that means getting stuck and things not going according to plan. The second thing is that the agenda that we're looking at is something you have access to. If you're watching this on YouTube, then check the video description down below. If you're watching this on Air Mozilla, check out the handout section over here. If you're watching this on Twitch, then in order to get access to the agenda, I actually have to manually copy and paste the link into the Twitch chat. There it is, the agenda. And there's also a link inside the agenda to rate the episode whenever it's done. I read everything that comes in whenever you rate the episode, and it helps me form the stream how you need it. I'm actually going to skip past the preamble about the episode guide because I really want to dig in today. So sorry, Smurf D, if you're watching, I apologize. I'm skipping over the episode guide. I want to dig right in. So for the last couple of weeks, we've been working on these tests for the picture-in-picture toggle. Picture-in-picture, by the way, is now enabled by default on Nightly on Windows, meaning that if you're watching like a YouTube video or something and you go to, if you're in Nightly and you go to a YouTube video, you'll notice that there's this little toggle in the corner that allows you to pop stuff out into a little picture-in-picture window. And there are still a number of open bugs. If you're seeing bugs, if you're seeing things in your things are going wrong, I encourage you to find this meta bug. I'll actually link to that from the agenda. Picture-in-picture issue meta bug. There, that's in the agenda now, and it's synced. So if you reload, you can. Oh, Hattie is using it right now to watch this. Amazing! Hattie is using picture-in-picture. Already, I'm impacting users. So there's this meta bug, and there are a number of things blocking it. Those are issues that, if we view it as a bug list, it's like this grocery list of things, and I've done a pass at prioritizing them. Things that I want to get done relatively soon is I want to be able to have the picture-in-picture controls only appear on hover in the picture-in-picture player window. Make sure that we don't accidentally dispatch the click events, the mouse events. If you're clicking on the toggle, we don't want the mouse events to actually go to the content. The content shouldn't know that you clicked on anything. Otherwise, if you're, I think I've experienced that myself on Twitch. I think that's actually the test case inside this bug here, where if you're on Twitch and you're viewing the video lists in the carousel on the main Twitch homepage, and you click on the picture-in-picture toggle, it'll open the video in picture-in-picture, but it will also cause you to click through and I think it will first play the video, and then if you click it again, it will send you to that streamer's page. Similarly, if on Twitch you're watching an advertisement, like the Twitch streamer is having an advertisement play before their video, and you click on the picture-in-picture toggle, that will not only open the ad in picture-in-picture, but it will also send you to the advertisement website, which we don't want to happen. So Smurf D's like, I think I know how it works now, the episode guide. Yes, you're the last person who probably needs to hear about the episode guide. Once again, thank you to Smurf D, prolific contributor to the episode guide. Anyway, so we've got this big list, laundry list of bugs to fix for picture-in-picture, and one of the top ones is I've wanted to add tests for the picture-in-picture toggle for a couple of weeks now, and we wrote tests I think like 2 weeks ago, and between now and then I've been having a really hard time getting them landed. They keep bouncing out, and that's because the tests are unreliable, they'll fail periodically, and so I want to really dig in today and try and figure out why. And I've actually got one of the test failures reproducing on my Linux box, beast mode. Here, let me pump up the font so you can see what I'm doing. Let me sign into beast mode. So one of my stream watchers last week got me paranoid about like how you can potentially interpret passwords or like derive passwords from the key press sounds that are being captured by the microphone. There was a proof of concept where they were able to train a model to turn the microphone input back into like the keyboard input. And so now I'm going to, instead of like muting the video every time, I'm just gonna like make noise with my mouth. Ocris, that he's the one. All right, so where am I at? What was I wanting to talk about? Hang on. It's kind of tricky because I'm having a hard time interpreting what's happening here. Okay, so let me tell you where I'm at. I've got the test failure captured in a piece of software called RR. RR is able to record and then replay a trace of the program execution. And so what I'm able to do is then use GDB on that recording to debug what's going on. And I can't really manipulate the recording, like change branches or anything. Like it's recorded and it's going to be that way during the recording, but I can inspect things and I can go back and forwards in time to try and figure out why a certain thing occurred. And what I've done is I'll try to explain the sort of the symptom of the bug, and then I'll show you how I am approaching debugging this. Hattie asks, how'd you get RR to embed that code view? That's a great question. That's actually something that GDB does by default, or can do by default. This is a neat trick. So normally whenever you're using GDB, you have to like use L to like list the code that you're at, and use backtrace to see what line you're on, and then like use L to inspect the code. But if you hit Control X and then A, let me drop that in the agenda here. GDB trick to view code inline. Control X and then A. If you hit that, then you get this nice little inline view. That's something that GDB's always had, apparently. It's just not the default view. Now, some of the things that you can do with GDB are trickier in this view. Like I find that it has a harder time with certain like key press events, and maybe that's because of what it thinks I have focused, and I just don't know how to switch focus. But sometimes I have to switch out of this inline view to have it like interpret key press events correctly. For example, if I hit end, it doesn't go to the end of the line, or home, it doesn't go to the beginning of the line. That's something I'm used to with GDB, but it doesn't do that whenever I have this mode up. Anyways, where was I? How did I get into this state? Well, let's take a look at let's reopen these files, because like the formatting's all kind of busted now, because I changed the dimensions of my viewport and the zoom and stuff. Okay. Yeah, I think it thinks that that the viewport's bigger than it actually is. That's unfortunate. Control X O switches focus. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe so here, let me put some stuff in. Now notice that I'm hitting home and it's not going back. I hit back and forward. Oh, and see what it's doing is it's actually moving. So that's probably it. I've got this region focused. So if I hit Control X, Control O, hey, thank you very much, Hattie. That's perfect. That's exactly what I needed. So thank you. So we can stay in this mode now. Now the problem with over here is that the viewport is bigger than it thinks, or maybe my viewport is actually too big. Like, oh yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to shrink it. Hopefully that hasn't wrecked the formatting. It has not. So I'm going to open up that other file, and then you can see what's going on. So the part that's failing is there's this part of the test where I synthesize a mouse move event over top of the video. So that's effectively pretending like the mouse is over top of the video. And when that occurs, I expect the toggle to appear. It's supposed to transition to be like 80% opaque, to let the user know that it's there. And so what I do is I like synthesize the mouse over the video, and then I kind of like pull the opacity of the toggle, and I wait for it to reach that target opacity, and it never reaches there, and I don't know why. Like I hover over the toggle waiting for it to become visible, and it never becomes visible, and I don't know why. And part of the mystery here is that in the case that this is occurring, it's not going through like my special no controls mouse move polling or scanning stuff that I'm using for special types of videos that are underneath iframes. This is a with controls video element, which means that it's using just the standard hover rule inside of the video controls widget CSS. So that's kind of confusing. It's not like this is basically testing whether or not hover works, and hover does work. So something's going wrong here. Like hover normally works, it's not broken in Firefox, but maybe it's broken in this particular case. And what's interesting as well is that this only seems to break periodically. So there's like a little race going on, and I don't know why. So I've got this other script. I'm going to show you a hack that I do whenever I'm using GDB or RR. This is the script that runs in the content process that actually does the job of synthesizing the mouse event. And what I do, you may have seen me do this before, is I call math.sign just before I synthesize the event. And math.sign is not something that is called frequently in the code base. I think it's called in like JS tests for math, but that's about it. I don't think we really use it anywhere else. And so I can attach a breakpoint on that function and then know when I've called it. And so I know that I've hit this interesting point in JavaScript land, and I can do something about it. So here's what I did. I put all this code in here. I put the math.sign in. I put in some logging so I know what content process is the one that's like misbehaving. It's not getting the hover behavior I want. And then I ran the test, and I ran it using run until failure, and I ran it with repeat, and then I captured the failure. And so the very last time that the test runs is the one that I'm interested in. So I attached RR to the right content process, and then I had it run right to the very end until the content process exits. And then I attached the math.sign breakpoint, and then I reverse continued, because I can do that in RR, to the second last math.sign. And why the second last? Because there are two actual events that are coming in. There's a mouse move, and then I also added a mouse over event. And so these are the ones that are failing, the ones where I'm like synthesizing the mouse at the center of the video, and those are not causing the hover event to fire. Now I've already done a little bit of investigation here, and I want to show you where I've gotten so far. but I actually don't know where I am. So where am I? Update cursor, event state manager, update cursor. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to reverse continue for a bit. Hopefully until I hit my math.sign again. Well, while we're waiting for this to go backwards, it's a little bit slow in a debug build. I also have a watch point on a variable, and that I find really slows RR down. But I'll tell you what I've gotten so far. It turns out that when the mouse move event comes in, first of all, there are not only the mouse move and the mouse over event. Let's just forget about the mouse over event for a second and just talk about mouse move. We dispatch the mouse move event, and actually 2 events get fired. There's a pointer move and a mouse move event. And the pointer move event doesn't cause hover stuff to occur, and that I think is because of this line of code. There's this code that checks whether or not the event is of type pointer. State manager is pointer. Was it hover? Event state hover. Yeah, here is pointer. So if, oh wait, no, is pointer. That's what I want. So whenever we're, I'm in some like gunk where we notify that the mouse is over. We're in the point in the like thing that runs events, the event state manager is what it's called. And we're notifying that the mouse is over something. Not just because of the mouse over event. This is before the mouse over event. This is because of a mouse move event. We are mouse moving over top of something, and that content is being notified, oh, the mouse is over you. And we're skipping this point at first because it's a pointer event. The very first one that comes in is a pointer event. But then the second event that kind of gets trickled through is a mouse move event. And so the content is actually getting its state of hover set. But the actual content itself turns out to not be the video for some reason. The content is, for some reason, the document body. And I don't know why. Why is it the document body? Unknown. How content async utils content does this is you really just give it like you give it some coordinates, left and top. And in the case of synthesizing the mouse at the center, you don't even give it that. You give it 0 for the dimensions. Like this synthesized mouse at center eventually filters down to this helper method, this common helper method, and it's passing 0 and 0 for left and top. But then one of the things it also does is it gets the target. The target in this case is a string, and we're query selectoring for the video ID, and we get our target, and for some reason, after we get the target, once we have the target, then what we do is we make sure that the owner document is content document, which it should be, so we can skip that part. Then we get the rectangle for the target, and I have confirmed that the rectangle makes sense. And then in the event that we're sending a message about we want it to be in the center, then the left, we add the width and the height of the rectangle divided by 2. So that should put the pointer in the center of the video. But for some reason, the element that we are alerting about, saying, hey, we're over you, is like, we're over you, and then like we're also over your ancestors and whatnot, is for some reason the body element of the document. And I don't know why. Let me pause this for a second because this is taking forever. So I'm gonna disable my watch point. Disable 6, and we're gonna reverse continue. And you know what else would be great is if I could make this little thing bigger. Hattie, do you know how I can make this like thing bigger down here, the console part? Size. So it's like GDB TUI console size. How to make the TUI window bigger. Basically need to issue something like win height source +5 to increase some columns, or win height source 20. Size. Win height name. Change the height of a window name. What's the name? It can be one of source, the source window, command. Okay, command. Win height command +5. Let's try that. Win height command +5. Cool, that worked. Let's do a few more. Let's add 2 more. Neat. Hey, I'm learning every day. So here we are inside this function, send mouse event. So this was called, if we look at the JS stack, we were being called by synthesize mouse at point. We've got these coordinates that were computed from here, and so we're calling synthesize mouse at point right here. We're passing in the event and the content window that we're synthesizing the mouse in. And I believe these coordinates make sense. And in fact, it's not like we have accidentally failed to flush the video. Like the target, we're flushing the we're flushing layout right here by getting the client rect for the video. So that should cause it to like assume its size synchronously. But for some reason, things are going wrong. So let's go forward a little bit. We're sending the mouse event common. Great. And then we say pre-handle event. So we're here. We're handling the event. This is the code I'm looking at up here, and I'm just gonna kind of walk through it a little bit. So the current target is a target frame. So what's the current target? A target frame. What's that? It's an NSI frame. Can I get the content for it? P get content. So that's an NSI. What would that be? NSI content. Now I learned how to do something today. Node info. I can get the node info, and I can get the name atom, and then I can get name atom. I know how to do this thing now where I can get the string. So that basically the tag name of the thing, get UTF-816 string. Get UTF-816 string. So right, the target has been computed to be the body. Now, where did we get that from? Where are we right now? In pre-handle event, in dispatch event, handle event with current event info, handle event with target, handle event with target, dispatch pointer from mouse or touch. And handle event with target is what's eventually being passed the content and the frame. And the content is 6550. And let's see, is that the one that we're dealing with here? 6550? Yeah. So somewhere up the chain, we have decided that the body element is what is going to handle the event. And is the target element, which is wrong. So Let's see where that happens. Handle event with target is called from dispatch pointer from mouse or touch in the pointer event handler. But that's also past something from dispatch preceding pointer event. Handle event using coordinates. Maybe we should start there. So let's go to frame 7. Handle event using coordinates. And what I want to do is I'm going to break here at the start of this function. Handle event using coordinates. And then I'm going to reverse continue till we reach the top of it. Okay. So we've got some coordinates. Presumably, is using GUI event. So we have an event here, GUI event, and presumably it has coordinates. And so we're gonna compute the content, retrieving, capturing content here. However, some of the following methods allow to run scripts. So is it possible that capturing content is outdated? So what's the capturing content? P capturing content. Nothing. There's no capturing content. I'm not even sure what that means. Maybe flush throttled styles. Is capturing content ignored? Retargeted. Compute root frame to handle event. So the root frame to handle the event. What's that going to be? P root frame to handle event. All right. As content. Is that what I called before? I actually don't think that's the right method. Get content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say root frame to handle event. Get the UTF-816 string on the node. And I segfauled it. Man. And can I recover from this? I don't think so. Oh, so I can. Great. Great. So I don't exactly know what the root frame to handle content is. Can I get the node info? No. Can I get the content? No. Oh, there is no content for the root frame. That's why. Okay. All right. Try to keep frame for following check. So the root frame to handle the event, there's no content for it. That's interesting. Root frame. Pointer, only capture most events. The pointer capturing content. What's the pointer capturing content? Nothing. And then we're going to get them as a mouse event. Get the frame at the event point. However, don't do this if we're capturing and retargeting the event because the captured frame will be used instead below. Also, keep using the root frame if we're dealing with a window level mouse event since we want to start sending mouse out events at the root event state manager. So get the frame. So what's the event target data? The content is nothing. Interesting. M frame. Oh, right. Get content. Nothing. No actual content. And then compute event target frame and press shell at event point. I think that sounds like something to step into. Is it a touch event? Okay, get frame to handle non-touch event. That also sounds interesting. Let's step in there. let's look at this event point. So these are in like different coordinates. They're not in CSS pixels. They're in something else. They're like device or hardware pixels or something. Okris asks, does new tab open in this test case? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. If you have ideas, if you have an idea on what I might be dealing with, I'm willing to test it out. Are you somehow not on the right layer with the mouse since you don't get it to hover over the right data? I don't know. I don't know if, like, there's not a real sense of layers here. I mean, there's the web content, like the DOM tree, and then the mouse just kind of sits on top at like the highest level, so I can't see so. Maybe it's content from new tab. Maybe it's content from new tab. Well, yeah, I mean, like, so Okris is suggesting that maybe the content is from the new tab, which it is. I mean, so the test opens up a new tab and it loads two videos in it, one with controls and one without, and then it hovers the mouse over the video. And we also wait for the videos to be ready. Like the widget bindings need to be attached. So the test doesn't open a new tab. It does, yeah, the test opens a new tab, but it doesn't open it doesn't open this new tab. It doesn't open this or anything, but it opens a new tab. But it doesn't open the new tab. Maybe I was confused. If we're gonna ignore the root scroll frame, no. Find frame targeted by input event. That all sounds like a great idea. So let's step in there. So get frame for point. Get frames for area. What's the point again? A point right of size 1, and we're going to get some out frames. Just these are all the things that it's constructing and calling into in order to do this thing. Come on, don't care. I've gone way too deep. I need to step out. Compare exchange. I need to like step out. Up, 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 up. Down, down, up. Okay, so I want to actually break at as layout utils get frames for area. Okay, that's what I care about. So it builds a display list builder. Ignore paint suppression. Set hid test for visibility. What are the options? Does it frame 4-point option only visible? No. Enter press shell frame. Set visible rect. Set dirty rect. Build display list. Okay. plist. Here's the list. Then we do a hit test. So the list has 5 elements. We're going to do a hit test, and then how many frames are in header, allocator, t-array, out frames.length, 4. So one item got removed. In our test page, what is the structure of the document? Video with controls is a child of body, which is a child of HTML, which is a child. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I look at the first frame? Okay. Let's take a look at the cast it to get content. Okay. No, what was it? Node type? Is that it? Man, was it? SI content H, yeah. No. Ooh, there's maybe a faster way. Get text. Get direct access. Text string, text length. What I want is just like the ID or like the tab name or the tag name. Tag name. Adam. Get ID. That's interesting. Get ID. There's nothing there. There's no ID. I want like Adam. How did I figure out how to do this before? A tag name. .cpp. Content node info. Node info. Right. That's get name. Get name. Node info. Get name. Where is it? Node info. I had this before. What was it? Node info. I'm just going to go up. I should write it down what it was. Node info. Name Adam. Name Adam. So let me write this down. get man name Adam. Get UTF-16 string. All right. Huh. So the first item is the body. Let me write that down. Actually, this is handy. This little snippet. Okay. Now, what about the second entry in the list? HTML. Okay. And the third, HTML. Oh, sorry. Whoops. The third, 0, 1. No. HTML, HTML, and then HTML. Interesting. Well, I don't know why it's nested so much, but it seems like this hit test is what's blowing it for us. If we look at the list, plist, the hit test is what's screwing us here, I think. We've got the right coordinates, but the hit test is failing us. Why would the hit test fail us? When we load this page, what happens? What does it look like? When we load this page, there's like a brief moment, maybe, where I need to like disable all the caches. I want to like see it in slow motion. Like there's a moment where it's gone and then it's there. And I thought I thought the test was resilient against that because it waits until the videos have enough data and can play. But maybe that's not enough. Can play. Duration ended. Maybe I should wait for the first frame of media has finished loading. Loaded data. Can play. Have enough data and loaded data. Have current data. Have enough data. What's the order of these things? Like maybe have enough data. But not actually enough to play more than one frame. Have current data. Have enough data. Media can be played through to the end without interruption. Maybe the simplest way to do this, or the simplest workaround, or can play through. What's can play through? That's Smurf D suggesting that. Can play through. Reacted to the event firing. Can play through. Is that enough information to know that the video element's actually there? We must have other video tests. Like video controls tests, browser context menu. Here, video controls. And what it does is it waits for can play through. So maybe that's what we should do. Not can play, but can play through. Can play through. So maybe we need to wait longer for the video to be ready. Okay. Let's bail out of this for a second. Or actually, we can keep this open. Let's open a different tab. Let's go here. So maybe what we should do video.source equals nothing. What's the name of the test video? Test page, test video.mp4. Let's just try something. Let can play through equals content task utils dot wait for event video can play through video.source equals that. Oh wait, can play through. And then comment that out. Let's see if that makes things work. So how did I do this before? I ran the test like this. Hang on. This was the command I used. So I'm going to copy that for the other screen. But I'm not going to use RR here. But I'm going to run until failure. Let's see what happens. So the idea, SmurfD's like, can play seems to just load a few frames, so maybe that's not enough, even though it feels like it should be practically the same. I agree. But maybe can play through is what we have to wait for. By then, layout may have computed that, like, oh, the I don't know. So let's let this run for a little bit and see what happens. In the meantime, maybe there's something else we can work on while we're waiting for the information here. Let me think. Well, there is something I wanted to test. Let me connect to my Windows box over here. Make sure that the desktop doesn't have my email open on it. That was me typing in a password. So close my email. Okay. Then I will bring the display over here. So I actually have to do a build though in order to make this work. So this is my Windows machine, and I need to. I've rebased a thing that should make the controls. configs artifact build. Do I have the ability to do artifact builds here? Artifact build, okay. So let's try it. I think I was having difficulty doing, okay. I think I was having difficulty doing artifact builds on Windows not that long ago, so we'll see if this works out. How's our test run going, meanwhile? Fail! So it still failed. For the same reason? What the? Whoopsie daisy. I don't know why that came up. I need to F7, and we go up and make sure it's the same failure for the same reason. Waiting to toggle to become visible, hovering the toggle becomes visible, and then we hover the toggle rect. The toggle rect. Possible that the toggle icon is not loaded in time? No. Well, let's see what happens in the good case. Let's run the one test browser toggle simple, and we'll run it just once, and we'll use RR, and let's see what happens whenever it works out properly, what element is toggled, or what element is being selected for hover. Meanwhile, back to the ranch here. Looks like no. See, like this is where things go wrong for some reason. Artifact build fails for me. Found mouse configs, a key error. Well, what I can do is actually alter my default mouse config, I think, just for now, just to get us moving. Just to get us moving. Let's see if that happens. Let's see if that helps. With Ccache is not available in this configuration, of course. So I need to like comment all of this stuff out. Just whoop. Okay, meanwhile, back at the ranch, this test is running. Takes a while to run. How's that build going on Windows then, if we're waiting for this? Still hates it. So I can't do artifacts on Windows, apparently. That blows. So I'm just going to do a normal build, I guess. That's the worst, because that might take a while. Hovering the toggle. Oh! It failed even when I just ran it once. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Is it... Have I changed something locally? That would be causing this breakage? Because this used to pass. Just math.sign. I mean, I added this can play through thing. Video source. Let's put the can play through thing away. Let's go back to what we were doing before. Where's my editor? Where was I editing this file? Probably in here, and doesn't matter. That back. Gotta wait for that to quit, and then let's do it again. This time I'm gonna do it without RR just to see if it passes. And if it passes, then we'll capture with RR. So RR adds additional overhead. So while this is building, what else can we do? And while we're waiting for that test to run, let's see. I want to try something. I want to try something. What's my most recent build here locally? April 23rd, 17th. I want to see if I can... Smurf D says, artifact builds troubleshooting. There are two ports, disable... There are two parts to artifact mode. Disable compile environment and the mock artifact command that implements the downloading and caching. Start by running that to see what the build system is trying to do. I could troubleshoot it, but I'm not feeling it right now. I'd rather work on picture-in-picture stuff. Akras asked if I can print the opacity. Maybe it's a rounding error. We can do that if you'd like. Let's get it to pass and then I'll add that. In fact, sure, let's just do that now for the next time. Pulled opacity at this works. Even if it doesn't, that'll still be interesting. I'll want to know why that failed, why it's failing now. So what I wanted to actually try is something completely unrelated to picture-in-picture. Fission pref. Fission Fission auto start. Right, this is where we wanted to do it. Fission. So I'm going to set this pref in this new profile, this profile, and then rerun. Okay, now the test passes here. Oh, no, it failed again. Very interesting. Why is this test failing now? So that's something we can investigate. There's like a testing fission page. I have to find it. I think I have it in my Windows instance of Firefox nightly. Build with, I don't know. Or maybe I can just like run an instance of Firefox using fission, the fission profile. Fission user. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't see the top of the window. What is going on here? There we go. Nope, still bad. There we go. Thank you. What's the URL? Fission host. This is the URL. This is a testing page. Is that working properly? So hopefully these are running out of process now. Let's find out. How would I find out? Well, it's reporting that these are running out of process iframes now. I just need to make sure. How do I find out? Get the browsing context. G browser selected browser. Browsing context. Group. Get children. Oh, just children, I think. What? What is it? Get top levels. That's not quite it. Housing context. Children. Get children. It's on this one. So there's three. There's three children. That's right. That's 1, 2, 3 subframes. So the first one, ID, doc shell. Can I get the tab parent for it? Current owner global. Current window global. Tab parent. OSPID. Okay, so this first frame is running in process 32648, and then the top level browser tab frame loader, tab parent, OSPID. They're running in the same process, so they're not running in separate processes. Shoot. So how do I get fission working in here? Can't remember. I have to figure that out. But in the meantime, oh, syntax error. That might be a problem. I think I did something wrong in how I wrote the test. Syntax error, literal not terminated before end of script. Where? Where? Where are you seeing that? I wish it would give me a line number. Opacity at, that looks like it's terminated properly. That looks like it's terminated properly. What are you talking about? Okay, shelve all the changes. Or not. Let's get rid of... No, that doesn't make any sense. How, what? What? What are you talking about? What? Waiting for videos to be ready, and then syntax error. So we get to here. Let's get rid of that, I guess. Got to here. It's the info, waiting for videos. Waiting for videos to be ready. Yeah. That's terminated though, right here. So, are you seeing a problem that I'm not seeing? Syntax looks off. Well, I know that it's excited about the word for in here because it thinks it might be part of a for loop, but like this is just a string. I'm using backticks. It should be okay. It looks like it's properly terminated. Man, what is going on? And tests take a while. I wonder if the original failure we were seeing was because of this syntax error, and it wasn't actually like the test has always been broken. It's just, are you sure backticks are okay there? Yes, I am sure. Yeah, backticks are a way that you it's how you do template strings in JavaScript, and yeah, that's valid JS. I am confident about that. Waiting for browser. Now it's going to run the tests. This is such a disappointing waste of time. I really hoped we would have more done by now. Let's go to the other build here on the Windows machine. Is it doing any better? Building DOM stuff. Okay. So running the test now. Please pass. Because if it passes, then we can take a look at the good case, and what that first argument is. Waiting for videos to be ready. Okay, test passes. Pulling the opacity. Pull the opacity is at 0. It never goes up. So we've got the test consto failing. That's good. That's good, because I don't. It's like it's not taking me as long. What I'm excited about is I haven't been able to like reproduce the issue this easily before, so that's quite exciting. And like the only changes I've made are come on, Mercurial. Then I'm doing MathSign here, and I disabled the skip if. I've re-enabled the test on Linux. I'm dumping the opacity. I changed the frequency and the length of time I'm willing to wait for the opacity change. So let's look at this error message again. So we're able to make the toggle appear at 0.8. So it reaches 0.8 opacity. And then when we hover what we think to be the center of the toggle, maybe I'm not computing the center, X, center Y. Is this center of the rect not right? But it used to pass. That's the crazy thing. This was passing. Okay. Well, now that it's failing, we can do stuff about it. First of all, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start up an opt build in the background, because it's probably easier to work with that. It's faster. So my hypothesis is that the center that we're calculating for the toggle rect isn't right. Get bounding client rect. Rect is now the bounding client rect is an object that maybe we're having a harder time. I'm using this like geometry thing, geometry.jsm, which whenever I call it with from rect is expecting a thing that has a left, top, right, and bottom. Top, left, right, bottom. So I'm gonna return top, right, left, bottom. Top, rect dot top, rect dot right, rect dot left, rect dot bottom. Client rect is JSON stringify toggle client rect. And then it's going to calculate the center of that rect. Is it because that bounding client rect is relative to the video element? Is it relative to something? Let's go back here for a sec. Here's our element. Here's our toggle. So here's the toggle button. Let us get the client rect for it. Oh man. Well, let's get at the video. How about that? Video. Open or closed shadow root. Yeah, don't have access to it from here, but I can do it from the content toolbox. From privileged.js. Okay, good. Content. Document, query, selector, video. That's our video. Video.open or closed shadow root. Get element by ID, picture in picture toggle button. Good. Get bounding client rect. Okay, so the client rect for the toggle, these are the dimensions, these are the height, the width. Okay, that's fine. Let's now create a new absolutely positioned element on this page. Let's keep those notes. I'm going to put that aside. So let's create a new div. We're going to attach to the body. Div.position, no, style, position equals absolute. Div style. Well, let's find this div. Maybe we can just manually mess around with it. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make this div be the same width, so that's 124, 4 pixels. The height is going to be 26 pixels. The top is going to be at 249.26. The left is going to be at 623 pixels. I'm going to make the background green. Yeah, that's the right spot. That is the right spot. It's wide like that because of how that how it slides in. But that's the right. Oh, I know why. Oh, I know why. I know why it's failing. It's failing because of how wide it is. Like, so we do this thing. Damn it. I know why it's failing. It's failing because we have... Oh, man. Okay. Let's hide this div. Div style display none. Okay. It's because the center of this element is over here. It's outside because we do this trick where it slides over, and that's probably why it's failing now where it wasn't failing before, because we didn't have that sort of sliding trick going on. Center is outside of the video. That's right, Ocris. Center is outside of the video, and that's why it's detecting that this is Like, the hit test is hitting the video. Okay. Okay, so let's see now. Let's figure out what the best solution is. I think what I want to do then is make sure that the center that is selected is the center of the icon and not the center of the button. So let's get that instead. Picture-in-picture toggle icon. Toggle icon ID. Toggle ID, toggle icon ID. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. That explains so much. So it wasn't something deeply broken? Oh, something was deeply broken. My brain. I had just forgotten that the center... I had widened the center. And like, so part of the problem was that some of this stuff was failing even before I had the sort of slidey behavior. And so I had assumed that the failures were related to one another. But in this case, the underlying assumptions of the dimensions of this thing had changed. And so, yeah, at least I found it. At least I might have found it. That's right, Smurf D. Time to be cautious here. I might have found it. Let's see if this passes. That would really explain a lot. It might also... When did the slidey out stuff land? Toggle hover. Back on the 18th. Okay. So all of this might have been broken. I need to like look and see what is the tree at right now. Central. Yeah, April 23rd, so it's... And what was the stuff that I was pushing to try based off of? Yeah, April 23rd. So that explains that problem. Jeez. Or it maybe explains that problem. I'm with you, Smurf D, on this. Caution. Don't assume. I've been burned by assumptions too many times today. But let's see if this I should push this to try again after, if this like makes things work. Oh, what are you waiting for here, test? Well, you know what, it probably doesn't like the fact that I'm building in the background. Let me stop that. Let it reclaim some CPU cycles. Just sitting there? What are you doing? Oh, great. And this failed. Oh, this build failed. What was it? While linking. Make sure I have everything I need. Oh no! Hit the wrong number. Meanwhile, what's going on here? It's like the test harness isn't even starting up. Let's start over. Yes. Evolve. Give me all the new stuff. Sounds good. Am I gonna need, yeah, it wants to get me a new node. Doesn't want to give me a new clang. Test is running now. Test fail. Uncaught exception. Still didn't like it. Why is that? Hovering the toggle rect. Maybe instead of the center, we should just like hover the first 2 pixels. So let's do that instead. So not the center. Toggle client rect left. Let left equals toggle client rect dot left plus, say, 2. Let top equals toggle client rect top plus 2. Toggle left, I'll call it toggle left and toggle top. Oh, you are giving me a new version of Clang. Okay, well that's interesting. Well, folks, I really want to see this test pass before I call it. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get there. Okay. So that's still failing for some reason. Dispatch queue. So there's this new method or this new mock command, which is very handy. Mock busted. Tell you about all sorts of build failures. Ah, this is still failing. Grrr. All right, well, enough working on it on debug builds. I'm gonna do an opt build, and then hopefully that will make it easier for me to iterate and figure out the right solution here. But I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching episode 175 of The Joy of Coding. That was a little bit frustrating, but we made at least an interesting discovery. So lesson learned. Have I done an HG pull and HG update on Windows? Yes, I have. Lesson learned. Double check your assumptions. I guess that's basically debugging in a nutshell. And that's it. So have yourself a great rest of your day, whatever it is that you're going to be doing, and I will take care. I hope you take care, and I hope I'll see you next week. So without further ado, have yourselves a great week, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye. See ya.